of Nabi neighborhood restaurant here on Westheimer. I moved to Houston a few months ago to look for a restaurant here because I found out that Houston was having a booming food culture that just spawned recently, and it's the ethnicity, the culture in this city that really drew me to here. I moved from Dallas from a restaurant called Dish. The biggest difference between Dallas and Houston was the diverse ethnicities and cultures around the area. Dallas doesn't really have something like that. It's so scattered out. You can say Houston's scattered, but there's different pockets around Houston. So you could really venture out and be inspired by these different cultures as a chef, and really, get some good influences, of like some actual, historic countries where they're doing some traditional food that's very good and warm to the heart. Actually, the cooking part was, my grandmother helped me a lot in this. My father was actually a sushi chef for a while also. He owned a restaurant too. They've helped me a lot as early in my career. And then to actually, build it, and the mentoring factor was probably one of my good friends and mentor, Doug Brown over in Dallas. The thing with my grandmother is that from the day that I can remember, she's always had a garden. I mean, even at the house that we used to live in Austin, we have a very big garden outside our backyard. And every morning I would always see her, going watering the garden, picking, chilies, herbs, leaves, melons, squash, those types of things. And then she would bring them in, and then, and she was that kind of woman that would cook these products from our, garden, and then share it to, her friends and our neighbors and everything like that. So it struck me as something that, that was very sincere, and it helped me to appreciate what cooking really was. My background is Korean. My grandmother cooked a lot of Korean food. So the reason why we call Nabi a neighborhood restaurant is because of the actual area itself. It's Montrose, and we wanted to be kind of exclusive to this area. We know this area as, very fun, very energetic. The neighborhood is amazing. A lot of different food restaurants are here. It's a very fun place to be, and I definitely wanted to have that relationship with all these people that were in this community. So when I say neighborhood restaurant, I literally mean when somebody walks into the door, I wanted to know them. I wanted to know them personally. Get to introduce myself. See how their lives were, and see how they're doing in their week, things like that. So that's how we tend to get a lot of regulars here, to getting to know these guys and having a very fun time with it. Not being that super serious restaurant that people come to, but people could come in shorts, their gym clothes, whatever, and just relax and have some good food, some sake, some beer, whatever they like, and just relax. That's what we wanted this restaurant to be. How you doing, guys? I'm getting ready to prepare one of our dishes at Nabi. It's a ceviche. What we do is get fresh striped bass, filleting the skin off here, and then we get a nice piece of snapper. These two fishes are actually whitefish, very lean fish. I personally like them because it's fresh. And then we got a nice piece of tuna loin right here also that we're gonna cut up. So we're gonna cut these up into nice big chunks. Ceviche is traditionally a mix of fishes. It's in Latin culture, a lot of these guys will mix squid, shrimp, a lot of times conch, clams, things like that, to make it a little bit just more flavorful and fun. Now we have 3 different kind of fish that we're gonna put inside a bowl. And what we do to season this up is we get pickled red onions, sprinkle that on top with cilantro, a little bit of sea salt, and then we make a sweet and sour vinaigrette here. What basically it is champagne vinegar, a little bit of sambal, which is like a Thai spice chili paste, and then what we do is get a little bit of honey and then a little oil also. We pour that in there. Okay. And once we pour that in, mix it all together. Makes a nice little product. And what we do here is we let it sit for a little bit so we can marinate the flavors and the fish can soak up that sauce. All right, so while we're waiting for it to marinate and cool down, we're gonna place in the ice. Let's do another dish. What we're gonna do here today is actually one of our other meat dishes, is our pork ribs. So we have our pork ribs here fried already. It's very, very simple dish. Once you have it fried, it's very easy to, put it all together. What we do is put it in a bowl, and once it's fried, you see it nice crispy outside. And then what we do is put the sauce together. The sauce is just white soy sauce, hoisin, and a little oil with sherry vinegar. The white soy sauce is the very most important thing in this dish because it gives it that umami flavor that it misses a lot of times. And then we sprinkle a little bit of salt out here. And then we sprinkle a little chive, a little bit of earthiness. Mix it all together. Right, so mix it, place it in our plate. So once we finish doing that, we'll get a little watercress and garnish that together. All right, this is Nabi's pork rib dish. All right, so back to our ceviche dish. Once we let it sit there for a little bit and have the fish soak in all that sauce, it's time to plate it. We have big chunks of fish, which is really nice. Tuna, snapper, striped bass. Okay, usually we'll put salmon in there, but I tend to like these fish a lot more than any other fish, so we're working with that right now. Okay, we still have the leftover sauce, so we'll sprinkle that on top. Alright, once we do that, let us garnish it with little fresh chives. Okay, little daikon sprouts. Okay, little grape tomatoes that we'll slice up. Alright. And then a little bit of golden tobiko. Golden tobiko is basically flying fish roe. Okay, it has almost caviar or caviar texture to it. It'll pop in your mouth. This is our ceviche dish at Nabi. The 3 tattoos on my forearm represent me, my sister, and my younger brother, and I got them when I was fairly young in Dallas, and I just wanted something that I can remember my siblings and know where my true passion lies is with my family and then with my career also.